Now it's time to take a deep dive.
Thank you, Slick. Thank you. We're going to get deep. Real deep. This deep dive is called From Mobile Phones to Smartphones. And everybody in the world pretty much has a mobile phone now, and they call them smartphones, and there was a bit of a history. And we're going to go through this. It's a little bit structured here, so bear with us. Slick Mick's done quite a lot of research for us. I don't know how true any of it is. What do you reckon?
Who knows?
For decades, here we go, mobile phones were the stuff of science fiction. Like, do you remember Star Trek? And they would have their little...
The little beeper thing, yeah. That was a Motorola Flip, yeah.
Well, and then it became like mega rich people had them. The first truly portable mobile phone, like we did say earlier, was the Motorola Dynatac 8000X. Just rolls off the tongue.
It does, beautifully.
Released in 83, it weighed nearly a kilo, gave 30 minutes of talk for 10-hour charge, as we said. Using one in the 80s and early 90s was a status symbol. Like, you had to be a rich dude, probably wearing a white suit and snorting cocaine off the tits of hookers.
Yeah, that's how they rolled. That's how you knew that guy had made it in life.
That's right.
He's got that thing hanging off his hip. So before mobile phones were pocket sized, many people used car phones. I was saying earlier, my grandfather actually had one in his car.
I didn't know this too.
Yeah, he did. He had
one.
I've
been in that car. I didn't even know.
So these were installed in vehicles, connected to early mobile networks, and allowed for calls while driving. If you could afford the hardware and the hefty bills, coverage was limited too in those early days. You often had to drive to a specific area in order to get a signal. But yeah, again, you're like a rich guy if you had one of those things.
But the irony of like a car phone now, you can't have your phone on you in the car, basically. You get fined ridiculous amounts of money for being on your phone in the car.
Like it was a proper telephone.
And it was wired too, so like you had the wire hanging down. Yeah. They were rad. But throughout the 1990s, the network coverage that Ribbles just mentioned, it did improve pretty significantly, and mobile phones became smaller, lighter, more reliable, which is good. Nokia rose to dominance with its durable, user-friendly phones, and I immediately think of the 3310.
Yeah, so do I. Yep.
The 3210 was also the other one, and what did we say? The 2100 or whatever the other
was,
one. Yeah. They were pretty big, but while Motorola kept innovating with sleek designs and messaging features, like I remember Nokia's were big, but Motorola came along and did its thing. Suddenly phones were no longer just luxury gadgets, they were very mainstream. And I remember having a Motorola Razr.
A Motorola Razr, the old flipper.
Yeah, I had a silvery purpley one. There's pink ones and blue ones.
They're colourful.
But what pissed me off was the Hello Moto. Drove me nuts, couldn't stand that. Yeah.
And following on from there, then came the smartphone revolution. So we went from having brick-sized telephones down to these small things you could carry around in your pocket. But so devices like the BlackBerry, the Palm Trio were introduced.
We didn't get that here.
No,
well, if we didn't. It wasn't common.
No,
Blackberries were common.
And then, of course, Apple brought out the iPhone, which was a game changer in 2007.
Lay down misère from that point, right?
From that point on, it just come out and dominated. And it changed everything because essentially it was a computer in your pocket. You could email, you could call, messaging, web browsing, apps, all sorts of applications.
I mean, you remember the 90s when the teachers would say, well, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket with you all the time.
But I do.
Wrong. Take that, Mrs. Johnson. Go fuck yourself. Guess what? Got one in my pocket right now. Don't even know any maths. There you go.
There we go.
Smartphones didn't just make communication easier, they transformed daily life. People are on them all day.
All the
fucking
time.
wrong.
Yeah.
Which, good and bad, I guess. It can do whatever you need it to do, but they changed how we work, shop, navigate, socialise. I think that's a big thing. And access information, obviously. From texting and emails to social media and instant search, the mobile phone went from a luxury item, as we said, to an essential tool in really just a couple of decades. Like, that was pretty quick.
In the space of 5 to 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
Remember, you used to have home phones. No one's got a home phone anymore.
No. Most people don't have landlines.
No.
Boomers still have them, but most...
Not required.
Mate, if you're I think Gen X onwards, we don't really bother with landlines.
No,
it's kind of a thing of the past.
It is.
Do you remember your first mobile phone?
I do. I remember getting it,
Tell me.
and we spoke about it. It was a Nokia 3310.
Oh,
one of the most successful phones around. I think everyone had one of these bad boys.
I had a Sagem MW3020. Don't you know that?
No.
Don't you know that one?
No.
I didn't either. I had to Google it because I remember what it looked like. 2001, I got that.
Right. Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
So you had, what did you say, Nokia 3310?
Nokia 30. Yeah.
The classic.
Super reliable.
They're classic.
Yeah.
Mate,
Indestructible.
Monochrome displays. That's what it is. Those pixel monochrome displays. And I found out, with a little help from Slick, 96 by 65 pixel ratio. That's the size of your screen. But do you recall making purchases for your very old school mobile telephone?
Yeah, I remember the ads actually on TV.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, the ads. I used to,
Yes.
if you want this jingle or this image, you could text through a number and they'd charge you like $5 or something, and then you'd receive a...
So like it was the ringtones. Ringtones
yeah.
were those custom.
Yeah.
But I also remember, and I don't know if you did this, but making your own ringtones.
No, I don't remember doing that, no.
You could. I think all 3310s could do it. You could actually customise and make your own ringtone. And I was in a band at the time, and for our band, we actually had... I'd figured out, okay, here's the notes, obviously, to play on the guitar, and those notes were transcribed into a ringtone for Nokia 3310s. And you could download the ringtone.
Oh, wow,
from,
there you go.
For the band I was in.
Yep.
There you go, very silly.
Probably still out there somewhere.
Oh, I could probably play it if I wanted to, but there you go. And the wallpapers.
Oh, yeah, that was another big thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Big thing, right? Yeah. So you'd have Holden, Ford,
Playboy, I remember
Ferrari.
A lot of people had
footy
Playboy.
clubs. Playboy was the biggest one, but
was,
not for mostly girls. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, but
It's dodgy graphic, yeah.
oh, terrible. Low res,
Res,
not high
low
res,
res,
clunky
yeah.
and slow, just dreadful, really, to be honest. But you look back at the time,
amazing.
absolutely red hot.
Yeah.
But also at the time, the big thing was like you wanted to buy this stuff, but you only had a very limited amount of credit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you wanted more, you got to go to the servo.
Yeah.
And we told our listeners what a servo is back a few episodes back, but a servo is the service station, right? You pick up your breaker and your bubble bill at the servo and your credit.
Yeah,
your credit.
Yep.
And you'd have to program or type into ring the number, put it in, and then you'd get
That's
your credit.
right. You got the printout and you have to ring it, put in a code, and you get $30 worth of credit.
Yeah, prepaid.
Last year.
Long before there were plans.
Yeah, correct.
Because you'd buy the phone outright,
Correct.
and then you'd have to do a prepaid SIM, and you'd have to get top-ups. That's what it was, top-ups, and they'd run out. But if you ran out of credit and you had no money, what was your solution to that back in the day? Well, I'll tell you.
Back in the day, they used to have these things called payphones. Remember those?
Payphones.
On every corner, you used to find these things that were payphones, where you could go and drop 20 cents in or 40 cents, whatever it was, and make a phone call from a public phone.
They were everywhere in Australia. Street corners, train stations, schools, at the servo, obviously. There were over, get this, 40,000 Telstra payphones nationwide at one point.
I believe that. They used to be everywhere.
40,000.
But remember they had banks. Sometimes it wasn't just a single. It'd be like three or four side by side.
That's dumb in hindsight, because you're talking around other people.
Yeah.
But anyway, 40,000, that's about 40 left, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be something like that.
Now, apparently, there's around 15,000
still around
today.
Right.
Apparently, I reckon that could be a bit dicey, Mick. But
same.
nevertheless, there you go. But if you had to use the public phone and you didn't have a spare couple of 20-cent coins in your pocket and you were shit out of luck and you need to be picked up from the shops because you got no other way to get home, what'd you do? You got 1-800-REVERSE, and I'm telling you what, it was a godsend for teenage kids.
It was.
Pick it up from the shops, mum, because you only had like a limited time to talk. Reverse charge calls were another lifeline. We needed them. You'd ride your treadly out to the local shops and you're fucked because you couldn't get back. Too tight.
Or if you did have to talk on the phone, it was like $3 a minute, so you had to be really quick.
Well, I think you had about 10 seconds if you did it with no money and you did the reverse call to start with.
Yeah.
Know all about this. I think anyone older than, say, if you're older than 35, you don't know what we're... if you're younger than 35, you've got no idea what we're talking about. But payphones and reverse charge calls, they're a thing of the past, they're long gone. Because now, everyone's just got them in their pockets. We don't even need to worry about it.
You don't even need to worry.
So, there you go. All right, I think that's probably enough for that one. Would you like to go and do a top 10?
Let's straight to it.
All right, Slick Mick, it's all yours.